The DNA test showed a 0% match with my newborn son. My wife admitted to using a sperm donor without my consent. Your father is an alcoholic. Your brother is diabetic. You're depressed. I didn't want to risk our child. For 3 years, I thought we were trying to have a baby together. She lied. All names have been changed for privacy. I'm 33 years old and live in Seattle, Washington. I've been married to Amanda, 31, for 6 years. We tried to have a baby for 3 years. Many attempts, many disappointments, but finally, we were pregnant. We were thrilled. 9 months later, Oliver was born. 3.2 kg, a healthy baby boy. I cried in the delivery room. I held his tiny hand and thought, this is my son, my family, my legacy. The first thing I noticed was that he was fair, very fair. I'm Italian, dark hair, brown eyes, olive skin. Amanda is Irish, but with dark brown hair and brown eyes. Oliver was born with almost blonde hair and porcelain skin. Recessive genes, the nurse explained. Do you or your wife have any blondes in the family? I thought about it. My maternal grandmother was a blonde. Probably from her. I agreed, but it was the eyes that bothered me. Blue, bright, clear blue. Many babies are born with blue eyes, the pediatrician reassured. They may darken during the first year. I believe the first 3 months were exhausting. Sleepless nights, endless diaper changes, crying, but also moments of pure joy. When Oliver smiled at me, when he fell asleep on my chest, when he squeezed my finger with his tiny hand, I was in love with this child, but the doubts grew. Oliver's eyes didn't darken. They remained bright blue. His hair became even lighter, platinum blonde. His facial features, they didn't resemble either me or Amanda. My mother was the first to notice. She came to visit when Oliver was 2 months old, picked him up, and looked at him for a long time. Strange, she muttered. What's weird? He doesn't look like you at all. Or Amanda, who does he look like? Amanda quickly replied, my great-aunt Kathleen. She was Swedish, platinum blonde, and blue-eyed. My mother nodded, but I saw doubt in her eyes. That night I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Amanda slept peacefully next to me. Oliver snored in his crib. I stood up and walked over to him. I looked at his face in the nightlight. Perfect features. Fair skin, blue eyes under closed eyelids. Nothing from me. Absolutely nothing. The next day, I ordered a DNA test online. The kit arrived 3 days later. The instructions were simple. Swab the father's cheek, swab the child's cheek, send to the lab. I did it while Amanda was in the shower. I put the cotton swabs in Oliver's mouth, then in mine. I sealed the samples. I sent them off the next day. The results were promised in 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks were torture. I tried to act normal. I went to work. I played with Oliver. I kissed Amanda, but inside I was dying of anxiety. The results arrived by email on Wednesday at 10:47 a.m. I was at work in a conference room for a meeting. My phone vibrated. A notification from LabCorp. Your results are ready. I excused myself and went to the restroom. I locked myself in the stall. I opened the letter with trembling hands. The PDF opened. Medical jargon, graphs, percentages. At the bottom of the page, in bold, asterisk, asterisk, probability of paternity, 0% asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, conclusion. The verified man is excluded as the biological father of the verified child. Asterisk, asterisk. A world ceased to exist. I was sitting on the toilet in the office restroom, looking at my phone screen, and my heart was breaking into 1,000 pieces. Oliver was not mine. My son was not my son. I don't remember how I got home. I told my boss I was sick. I got in the car. I just drove for hours. Around 6 in the evening, I parked in front of the house. Amanda's car was in the driveway. She was home with the child who wasn't mine. I walked in. Amanda was on the couch, feeding Oliver a bottle. She smiled when she saw me. Hi, honey. You're early. Is everything okay? I didn't answer. I just looked at her, at the child in her arms. Brian, are you okay? I need to show you something. I took out my phone, opened the PDF, handed it to her. She looked at the screen. Her face didn't change at first. Then I saw her reading, the color draining from her face, her hands starting to shake. Brian, I can explain. Explain? My voice was strangely calm. Explain how our son is not my son. Tears welled up in her eyes. Please, let me explain. Please. I sat down across from her. Oliver was still drinking from his bottle, unaware of the drama around him. Speak. She took a deep breath. I used a sperm donor. Time stood still. What? When we were trying to get pregnant, nothing worked. 1 year, 2, 3, I was desperate. I wanted a baby so badly. We both wanted a child. We tried together. I know, but she trailed off. I didn't want your genes. I stared at her. What did you say? Your genes, Brian. I didn't want to take any chances. Risk? What? She laid Oliver in the crib and turned to face me, tears streaming down her face but her voice firm. Your father is an alcoholic. He's been drinking since he was 30. He has cirrhosis of the liver. Your uncle died from the same thing at 45. Alcoholism is hereditary. You know that. My father, your brother Thomas, has been a type 2 diabetic since he was 28. Your sister Maria suffers from clinical depression and has attempted suicide twice. You yourself have been taking antidepressants since you were 25. Every word was like a blow. With Yestra more yours from ovarian cancer at 49. Your paternal grandmother suffered from Alzheimer's for 20 years before her death. She stood up and started walking around the room. I spent months researching genetics, Brian. Reading studies, consulting with geneticists online anonymously. The risks were too high. Depression, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, alcoholism, it's all in your family, in your genes. And instead of talking to me about it, you went to a sperm donor. I tried to talk. Remember when we saw the fertility specialist a year ago? I asked about genetic screening. You refused, said it was too expensive and not necessary. It was true. I remembered that conversation. The genetic screening cost $3,000. I thought it was a waste of money. That doesn't give you the right to conceive a child with another man. It wasn't another man. It was a donor, a medical procedure. Without my consent, Oliver started crying from our screams. Amanda picked him up and started rocking him. I did it for our family, she said more quietly. I wanted to give us a healthy child, a child without genetic baggage. The donor was carefully selected, no history of cancer, heart disease, mental illness, nothing. Perfect health going back 3 generations. Perfect health, I repeated dumbly. You chose a stranger with perfect health over me, the father of your child. You are his father, in every sense except the biological one. You're here, you love him, you care for him. Based on an LIE, you let me raise someone else's child, thinking he was mine. He's our kid, Brian. He's not mine. I screamed so loudly that Oliver started crying even harder. Amanda held him to her chest, rocking him and crying. Please don't say that. Please. I grabbed the car keys. Where are you going? I don't know. Anywhere. Just not here. I walked out, slamming the door, leaving my wife and child, the child who was no longer mine, crying in the living room. I stayed at a motel that night, a cheap place near the highway. I lay on a hard bed, staring at the ceiling. Amanda called 20 times. She wrote hundreds of messages. Please come back. We need to talk. I love you. Oliver needs you. Oliver needs me. Child that is not mine. A stranger's child. I thought about the last 3 months, the sleepless nights when I got up for him, the diaper changes, the bottle feedings, the first smile I caught on camera, the first time he laughed at my silly faces. It was all a lie. No, it wasn't a lie. Those moments were real. My love for him was real. But the basis of it all, that he was my son, my blood, my heritage, it was a lie. The next morning, I met with a family lawyer, a woman named Caroline West, recommended by a colleague. I told her everything. She listened, taking notes. You have a few options, she began. First, divorce on the grounds of fraud. Second, contesting paternity. You can legally relinquish parental rights because you're not the biological father. Can I just leave and no responsibility? Technically, yes. If you contest paternity before legal paternity is established, you can avoid child support and other obligations. That was what I wanted, wasn't it? A way out, freedom from this lie. But Caroline continued, there's a factor the court will take into account. You acted as the father for 3 months. Are you on the birth certificate? Yes. I signed it at the hospital. This complicates matters. In Washington, if you acted as the father on the birth certificate, the court can rule that you are the legal father regardless of biology, especially if it's in the child's best interests. The trap began to close around me. What do you recommend? It depends on what you want. Do you love this child? The question hit me in the stomach. Did I love Oliver? Yes, God, yes. Even now, even knowing the truth, I loved him. 3 months of connection didn't just disappear because our DNA didn't match. I don't know what I want, I admitted. Then give yourself time to think. Don't make any hasty decisions. In the meantime, I recommend temporary separation from your wife and counseling. I stayed with a friend, Kevin, for a week. He knew the situation and didn't ask many questions. He gave me space. Amanda kept writing. I finally replied, I need time. Don't contact me until I'm ready to talk. She respected this. The messages stopped, but every night around 8 the time I usually bathed Oliver, she'd send a photo. Oliver in the bath, playing with a rubber ducky. Oliver in his pajamas before bed. Oliver asleep in his crib. She didn't write anything, just photographs. Each photo broke my heart a little more. I missed him, this little boy who wasn't mine, but felt like he was. On the 7th day, I called Amanda. I need answers. All the answers. I'll meet tomorrow. Without the baby, just us. We met at a cafe. Neutral territory. Oliver was with her mother. Amanda looked terrible. Her eyes were puffy. Her skin was pale. Her clothes were wrinkled. I probably looked no better. Thank you for coming, she began. Tell me everything, from the very beginning, without lies. She nodded and began. 2 years ago, after another month of unsuccessful attempts, Amanda made an appointment with a fertility specialist. Without me, she said she was going to the gynecologist for a routine checkup. The doctor ran some tests. Everything was fine on her end. The problem was probably a low sperm count or poor quality on my end. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. Because I didn't want you to feel guilty. Your ego would get hurt. She was right. My ego would have been hurt. The doctor suggested options if sperm donation and adoption. Amanda began researching sperm donation. I went to a sperm bank website, she explained. They offer complete donor profiles, medical history, education, physical characteristics, even childhood photos. It was like a catalog. Perfect men, perfect genes. She found donor #7394, Scandinavian descent, sex 2, blue eyes, blonde hair, master's degree in engineering, no family history of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, or mental illness. IC 142, athletic, musically gifted, perfect specimen, she said quietly. A perfect specimen, I repeated bitterly. Like me, Brian, it wasn't a personal attack. Not personal. I almost screamed. People in the cafe were watching. I lowered my voice. You chose a stranger because his genes are better than mine. How is that not personal? Tears streamed down her face. I just wanted the best for our child. Ours. He's not ours. He's yours and donor #7394. She cried harder. I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself. Go on. How did you do it? She explained the procedure. I ordered sperm online. $1,200 per vial, plus shipping on dry ice. She made an appointment with a fertility specialist at a different clinic than the one we'd gone to. Together, she told me she was going to a bachelorette party that Saturday. Artificial insemination. A simple procedure. It took 20 minutes. 2 weeks later, a positive pregnancy test. You knew from the start, I said dumbly. This whole year, the whole time you were pregnant, giving birth, feeding him, you knew he wasn't mine. I've wanted to tell you 1,000 times, she sobbed. But how? How can I tell my husband that the child growing inside me isn't his? You'd leave, you'd hate me, and you thought that detection through DNA testing would be better? I hoped you'd never know, that you'd love him so much that biology wouldn't matter. I looked at her, the woman I married 6 years ago. The woman I love. Biology always matters. Amanda, it's not just DNA. It's trust. It's honesty. It's the foundation of marriage. And you ruined all of that. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We sat in silence for a long time. Finally, I asked, what now? I don't know. What do you want? I want the last 3 years not to be a lie. I want Oliver to be mine. I want to trust you again. But I don't know if I can. Update 1. A lot has happened in the last 5 weeks. I moved back home. Not because I forgave Amanda, I did, but because Oliver needed a father. And despite everything, I wanted to be that father. When I walked in the door with my suitcase, Amanda was crying. Oliver was in his baby seat, playing with a rattle. I'm coming back, I said, but not for you, for him. I understand. We'll have rules. We sleep in separate rooms. No physical contact. You go to therapy, individual and family with me. Complete transparency about everything: phone, email, bank accounts, medical records, everything. Yes. Anything. I picked up Oliver. He smiled at me and grabbed my nose with his tiny hand. My heart melted. DNA or not, this is my boy. We started family therapy with Dr. Elizabeth Chang, a relationship trauma specialist. The first few sessions were hell, lots of yelling, tears, and accusations. During the fourth session, Dr. Chang asked Amanda, "Why did you actually use a donor? Is there a deeper reason than genetics?" Amanda hesitated. Then she confessed, "I wanted control. Control over the child's genes, over what he will be like. Brian, he's a good person, but he struggles with depression, with family history. I saw how hard life is for him sometimes. I didn't want the same for my child." "Our child," I interjected. "Ours," she corrected herself. "I didn't want that for our baby. I wanted to give him the best start, the perfect start. But there's no such thing as perfection," Dr. Kang said softly. "Even donor hash 7394 is just a person, with flaws, with possible hidden problems. I know that now. But back then I was obsessed with the idea of the perfect child, the perfect start." Dr. Kang turned to me. "Brian, how do you feel listening to this?" "Like a loser," I admitted. "Like I'm not good enough. My genes aren't good enough. I'm not good enough to be a father." Tears streamed down my face. It was the first time I cried in therapy. "That's not true." Amanda extended her hand, but I pulled it back. "You're more than good enough. I made a terrible, selfish choice. That's not a reflection of you." It was crazy, but I had to know. Who was donor hash 7394? He wasn't just a number, he was a person. Half of Oliver's DNA. I contacted the sperm bank. They said the donor is anonymous and no information is disclosed. But then I remembered Amanda had ordered through a specific sperm bank, California Cryobank. I went to the website and found information about the programs. They offer an open donor program where children can contact a donor when they turn 18, but some donors agree to contact earlier. I called and explained the situation. The social worker was sympathetic. "We don't usually release information, but given the circumstances, let me check." A week later, she called back. "Donor hash 7394 has agreed to a meeting. He wants to meet you." His name was Eric Anderson. He was 38 years old, a software engineer at Google. He was married and had 2 children of his own. He lived in Mountain View, California. We met at a cafe in San Francisco. I flew there on Saturday. I didn't tell Amanda where I was going. Eric was exactly as described in his profile. All blonde, blue eyes, handsome, the perfect Scandinavian. We sat down at the table. An awkward silence. "Thank you for agreeing to meet," I began. "Of course." When I got the call, I was shocked. I donated 10 years ago to earn money through graduate school. I never thought I'd meet my father. "I'm not the father. You are the father, biologically." He shook his head. "No, I'm just the donor. You're the father. You raise him." We talked for 2 hours. He explained his decision to become a donor, student loans, the need for money, thinking he was helping childless couples. "I never thought about children," he admitted. "My genetic children in the world. The sperm bank said there could be up to 25 offspring from my donations. 25 children with my genes that I will never meet. Doesn't that bother you?" "Not before. Now meeting you, knowing there's a real child, yes. It's weird." I showed him Oliver's photo. He looked at it for a long time. "He looks like me at that age. My mom has pictures of me as a kid. I was that same platinum blonde." "Is your IQ really 142? He laughed. "That was from a test in college. Honestly, I don't think IQ means that much. I know plenty of geniuses who can't function in real life. The sperm bank sold you as the ideal donor. They sell a fantasy, perfect genes. But really, I'm nearsighted and have needed glasses since I was 8. I'm allergic to cats, pollen, gluten. I'm terrible at sports, the last one picked for my school's teams." And he trailed off. "My mother was recently diagnosed with early-onset Alzheimer's. At 58, it's genetic. I could carry the gene." The world started spinning. "Alzheimer's." "Yes. We just found out last year. I had a genetic test and I carry the APO4 variant. Increased risk of early-onset Alzheimer's. The perfect donor. The perfect genes. It was all a lie." "Does the sperm bank know?" I told them. They removed me from their active donor list. But past donations, they can't get them back. So Oliver could carry the Alzheimer's gene. A risk Amanda thought she'd avoided by choosing a donor over me. The irony was cruel. I told Amanda when I got back, "You met the donor?" She was shocked. "Yes. And guess what? Your ideal donor carries the Alzheimer's gene. Oliver may have an increased risk of early onset Alzheimer's." Her face turned pale. "What?" I told her everything about Eric's nearsightedness, his allergies, his mother's diagnosis. "He's not perfect, Amanda. No one is. You ruined our marriage, cheated on me, forced me to raise someone else's child, all for perfect genes. And you didn't even get that." She cried with heavy, tearing sobs. "What have I done? What have I done?" Oliver woke up from the noise and started crying. I went to him, picked him up, and rocked him. "SHHH, baby, it's okay. Daddy's here." Dad, I was still his dad. Despite the DNA, despite everything. Update 2, 4 months since I found out. This is where we are now. After months of therapy, Amanda and I decided to try to save our marriage. Not because trust has been restored, it hasn't, but because we both want to give Oliver a stable family. We're still in separate bedrooms. We're still in therapy twice a week, but we function as parents. We feed Oliver together. We bathe him together. We read to him before bed. Sometimes it feels almost normal. Then something reminds me the photo Eric sent, my mother's comment, "He's so different from you," and it all comes back. Dr. Yang says it's a process, that healing will take years, maybe even a decade. I don't know if we have a decade. I consulted with a lawyer about my rights. In Washington, since I'm on the birth certificate and have acted as Oliver's father since birth, I'm Oliver's legal father, regardless of his biological status. This means if we divorce, I will owe child support. I will have custody/visitation rights. Legally, he is my son. Part of me is angry about this. I'm trapped caring for a child that's not mine. The other part is relieved. It means no one can take him away from me. Not Amanda, not Eric, no one. My parents recently found out the truth. I had to tell them. Mom kept commenting on how Oliver didn't seem like family. My dad's reaction, "What the hell? She cheated on you with a sperm donor." My mother's reaction, silence. Then, "You're still his father, Brian. DNA doesn't make a family. Love does." She was right, but it was painful to hear from the woman who gave birth to me that biology doesn't matter. Amanda's parents were furious when they found out. Her father called and yelled at her for an hour. "How could you deceive your husband like that?" Her mother was quieter but more hurtful. "I raised you better than this, Amanda. Oliver is 6 months old. He's growing. He rolls over, grabs toys, laughs when I make silly noises. Still platinum blonde with blue eyes. Still doesn't look like me at all. But you know what? It doesn't bother me so much anymore. People comment, 'He doesn't look like you,' and I just nod. My mother's genes, I say. Not a lie, technically. Yesterday he said I sound like Dada for the first time. Amanda was delighted. He said, 'Papa.' Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but my heart exploded with happiness. This child is not my blood, but he is my son in every meaningful way. Eric and I text occasionally. He sends medical updates. His mother's Alzheimer's is getting worse. He's had full genetic testing and discovered several more health risks. "I thought I was selling perfect genes," he wrote recently. "Turns out I'm just as flawed as everyone else." I appreciate his honesty, and in a strange way, he's become something of a friend, someone who understands my unique situation. He doesn't want a role in Oliver's life. "I'm a donor, not a father," he insists. "You have your own family." I respect that. But he did ask for one thing. When Oliver grew up, if he wanted to know his biological father, Eric was open to it. I agreed. It seems fair. Oliver is almost a year old. That's where we left off. After 9 months of trying, Amanda and I decided to divorce. Not out of hatred, but because the trust was too broken to repair. Every time she says "I love you," I wonder if it's true. Every time she goes somewhere, I wonder what she's hiding. I can't live like this. The divorce is amicable. Joint custody is 50/50. No child support payments are due either way. I remain Oliver's legal father. We threw Oliver's first birthday party last week. Both our families, friends, even Eric flew in from California. Seeing Eric and Oliver was surreal. They look so much alike, the same blue eyes, the same blonde hair. The genetic similarity is undeniable. But when Oliver fell and cried, he reached out to me, to Dad, not to his biological father in the room, but to me. That's all that matters. Biology doesn't make you a father. Presence does. Loved us. 3 a.m. feedings, diaper changes, first steps, first words. These are what make you a father. My genes may carry a risk of depression, diabetes, cancer, but they also carry strength, resilience, love. My family tree isn't perfect, but it's mine. Amanda made a terrible choice. She cheated, she betrayed, she destroyed our marriage. But she also gave me Oliver, and for that, I will always be grateful. For me, I'm staying Oliver's father. I'm divorcing Amanda. I'm building a new life, not perfect, but fair. And that's enough.